Good afternoon / evening / morning, everyone, in Speed Gaming Land. My name is Files, and I'm joined by my good friend Clearmouse. Clearmouse, how are you doing today?
I am doing so well. Really excited for this match. This should be a lot of fun.
Heck yeah. We got two tied for points league teams facing off honestly, I just really like this week because it's just straight up pure rando. There's no the side stuff is fun and everything, but this is where it's at. Just the bread and butter, peanut butter and jelly.
Now I'm hungry.
Randomizer action.
Yeah, not only we can see on the layout here, we have standard defeat Ganon. In addition, we get some goodies that our runners get to start with. We see Mog holding up a sword that is guaranteed
I see
to
the
us
sword.
At the beginning.
They get a tunic, and I guess they get candy. It's close to Halloween.
Yeah,
they get candy.
It's red. It's colorful. You're probably supposed to put them on your feet or something.
Oh wait, it's the boots.
It's the boots. This is probably one of the most coveted and highly sought after items in the game for every single runner. And this week, they all get to start with them.
Oh yeah, They that's been the bonus for sure this week. And of course, the boots are fun. I mean, there's kind of two sides to the execution argument. Boots allow for the fastest completion of rooms, but there's definitely a lot of movement tech in the game that isn't related to boots. So, but one thing we can all agree on is that boots make you go faster.
Oh yeah, and not only can you go faster, you get to increase your fun factor by a whole heck of a lot.
Yes. Well, I mean, who likes running around the entire world in your bare feet? I mean, that's not safe. There's nails probably everywhere from the shoddy Hylian construction. I don't think Mog's tetanus shot is up to date. I mean,
well, Mogs have wings, right? I mean, but Link, he's kind of on his own. And really, have you ever seen a tarred or paved floor in Hyrule? I certainly haven't.
I mean, there are literally spiky floors that they have to walk over.
That's true.
All right, so here we go. You're looking for the nice thing about boot start, with your escape sequence is, of course, you have the boots. So you don't have to do that awful thing where you worry about, oh wow, we're getting a real early. Yeah, I think that was all crystals, wasn't it?
It was so fast I didn't even get a chance to see anything. Hopefully our great tracker, Westside Vandal, managed to get a glimpse.
If he did, he's a killer eyeball more so than I, because I didn't quite catch them all. But either way, the nice thing, again, about the boot start is since you start with the boots, you don't spend your traditional escape sequence hoping you find bombs for the back of escape. You could just bonk that wall. So you won't see runners really going for a whole lot extra. They're just going to be picking up all the chests and just trying to get through this as fast as possible.
Yeah, really nice thing, as you said, with these boot stars, it takes a lot of the randomness outside because you don't have to kind of sit there and try and hope the price pack is in your favor and you're trying to get bombs for the back. You can just dash right through.
Yep. I mean, to be clear, the chests are still randomized, so they're it is still a randomizer. But yes, I'm Captain Pedantic today. That is what I'm here for.
It's we just need to get you some fancy footwear.
I guess I'm more of a Commodore. Is this a naval institution? I don't know. Either way, we've already got the map from Escape, so that's probably the least exciting item in here.
Yeah, not only do you not want to see a map so early, just because it doesn't do anything for you, you also hoping that you're going to never see it, because if you're counting items correctly, the map will be in the egg chest, and then you know that you'll never have to open it.
You can see both these runners definitely practiced in their, most vanilla version of the game. NMG runners, you don't have the boots when you're here normally, obviously, so you're not used to all the dash lines and the efficiencies here. So it's cool to see both of these really skilled runners kind of having a real good go at it here. I'm honestly, the only real difference we're seeing right now is just that super fast map check that mooglecharm made right at the beginning of the game. Typically, you're looking for a just over, maybe a 5-minute-ish escape for boots is a pretty solid time, depending on what prize packs and rad RNG and stuff are. Ooh, 300 rupees is a pretty solid early start. It's nice not to have to worry as much about money early on, especially if you're going to Kakariko.
Oh yeah, you don't need money for. You have money for bombs. You have money for the bottle vendor. You're really close now to Zoro money as well. Like definitely takes a load off of these runners' minds. You don't have to farm for resources as much.
Oh, both runners utilizing the bottom stairway. I'm almost positive that's faster than traditional walk around. Plus, it's cooler.
That's right. I mean, anytime you can take advantage of straight long hallways with boots, it's going to be to your advantage.
Oh yeah. Also, today's broadcast brought to you by the Hylian Stairmaster Incorporation. Hylian Stairmaster, increasing the number of stairs you climb with Boots Escape since 1996.
Man, Link really gets a good workout then today.
Yeah, although if we were really sponsored by Hylian Stairmaster, they would not have just walked by those stairs. They would have went up and down them just to show off the calorie-busting power trademark of the Hylian Stairmaster.
But I mean, aren't those stairs automatic? Like, we need manual stairs, right? Where you can get like.
Look, you're talking about Lake Hylia Escalators Incorporated. Oh,
excuse me.
You're reading the wrong script, sponsor, Clear Mouse. Come on. God, we're never.
Yeah, I know. I'm
never getting the sponsorship.
Yeah.
We're in trouble.
Good thing these runners, have all the money they need. They don't need me to, give them some more rupees. Speaking of which, we got,
Yeah, even more, like, you'll see the runners, like, if you stay on the chest line here, you saw Moogle taking an extra second to set up for it. Did accidentally tap up, though. If you stay on the same line as the chest, you can dash right through the door. So a lot of little stuff like this is how you really maximize your time in this escape section. You can see he did the same thing with the torch when he picked up the key there. I mean, Gem has just got really solid movement.
This is probably Gem's favorite mode to run, so he's very well practiced. It really shows here as well.
Oh yeah, mooglecharm no slouch. I mean, right behind him. Maybe lost a little bit of time from a bonk or two, and then of course that map check that mooglecharm got in before Gem. But Gem well on the way to making that just over 5-minute escape that we were talking about.
Yeah, and typically for something like a casual boost, just to give some perspective, a normal escape sequence without the boost is just shy of under 6 minutes, like 5:55, 5:50, something like that. And you can see Gem crossing here with a really nice 5:10.
Oh yeah, I mean the boots obviously make things faster, but yeah, you're having a good time with these boots. All right, here's our map check. All right, our excellent tracker, Westside Vandal, did correctly indicate. So we got a lot of light world crystals, Clear Mouse. And we're already seeing route divergence. We've got Gem continuing along the kind of the north Sank route, and mooglecharm taking those boots, probably going to Sahasra's garage here, I'm guessing.
I definitely have seen this play to go over to Saha's closet more and more, especially with open boost, just because this is just 3 fast items you can get pretty quickly now that you have the boots.
Yeah, it's definitely a routing choice you can make. I'd argue it's stronger in pure open because you can just kind of run here and get this check out of the way and then make a harder commitment to go to Eastern Palace. But it's also kind of a strong meta call because, like, if you know that your opponent does not like check here early, you can have an advantage. See, now mooglecharm getting that all-important ice rod, although it might not be important yet, we don't know. But that bottle could be a handy pickup because mooglecharm could have that, for the Kakariko route checks. And perhaps Gem may not, depending on where the other bottles are.
That is certainly true, and that mooglecharm is going to be able to have an additional check here. Guaranteed for Kakariko versus Gem. More importantly, though, Gem taking his normal route up to Lumberjack, he found the Moon Pearl.
Yes.
Sitting there. So we actually might be looking for a couple more items just like that lamp Gem just picked up from the Lost Woods drop-down.
In case you didn't already know that you were going to Aghanim, at least you're not going to have to do it, like, dark. I mean, obviously, runners of these skills have no problem doing the castle tower in the dark, but, it's nice to not have to do it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I wouldn't put it past either of these runners to do Dark Aga, but of course, if you don't have to, because we just found the lamp, you certainly don't want to.
Yeah, and real important here for mooglecharm, also being able to catch this Moon Pearl on the Lumberjack tree is really important because that keeps kind of the information at the same. There's a parity there.
Yeah, meanwhile, mooglecharm also gave us a bit of a peek into the bushcraft today, which was 4 bombs, and I think it was also, tier 3 tree fall? Which was a full magic container. With that ice rod, it'll be a really nice, I guess, like, much faster weapon to use.
Oh, Book of Medora. Yeah, I mean, I guess Ice Rod can be useful. You're almost always preferring to use Fire Rod because of the kill factor on it. But Ice Rod's still useful for like mini Moldworm Cave and stuff like that. So always nice to have.
Yeah, and especially if they end up making a trip over to desert, if they can find a glove.
Gem sets up spin speed for the Blind's Hut to well check. I like it.
These runners are just gonna constantly demonstrate that even like the little movement screen, even across screens, they're gonna try and make things go faster.
All right, so it looks like the rest of the well, not super interesting. We have picked up enough money. I mean, they're just $5 away from having Zora money and Bottle Vendor money, so.
Mooglecharm needs to be a little bit careful here. He's gonna pick out a couple hearts from the well.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Gem, we're just rocking those spin speeds. Having a little. He was so excited about the spin speed. He's like, I love chicken huts, and then he's like all around the outside of the door frame. Maybe that should be our next sponsor, Clear Mouse Chicken Hut. It's like
Chicken
the Pizza Hut of Hylia.
There's Chicken Shack. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, Chicken Shack. That's a lot less like trademark infringy. So I'm for it.
Yeah.
Already I'm for it. So meanwhile, on our path to Aghanim, we're through Kakariko.
Yeah,
we've got Master Sword and we've got Lamb. So it's like, at what point do you just dive in there because you know you have to do it?
Yeah, Gem also picking up a nice half magic in the back of the tavern. Mooglecharm will also very shortly follow suit.
It is curious because, like, you're gonna do Aghanim, right? You're gonna have Moon Pearl coming out of the Pyramid of Power. So it's like, well, do I want like bow or hammer or hook shot or flippers or like something to give you some kind of direction? Once you're in the Dark World, because you're gonna have to go there for Aghanim anyway. So it'd be interesting to see if these runners opt to, go to like South Shore first and get all the checks down there before they commit to the Aga play. Also, Mirror.
Dude, we see that in the race game. That's right. That is something that Gem's gonna definitely pick up along with Mooglecharm. That Mirror will really make things nicer when they go from Light and Dark World. Especially they have Dark World. Well, they're gonna go get Dark World access pretty quickly here.
Alright, this is an important check here for Mooglecharm. This is the bottle he has over Gem, and it was only 20 rupees. So, but I mean, even though the item was not necessarily important, having that check done, could involve some routing efficiency later. Like it's really interesting to see like how small changes can have, large ripples across, runners' routing choices throughout the seed. So the full impact of that bottle difference does remain to be seen.
Yeah, and certainly, at least for Mooglecharm, he has peace of mind that he doesn't have to come back to Kakariko proper anytime soon, whereas Gem, when he picks up a bottle, he's going to probably want to try and route that in. And yeah, as you said, it can actually make quite a significant routing difference.
I suspect with a mirror, what will end up happening is Gem will probably do this South Shore area here, get the items down here, and then he'll probably, with that mirror, he'll be able to route in like Eastern Palace and Palace of Darkness like post-Aga. And just because of the way the items were, it'll end up being a little bit more of a like efficient time-wise check than Mooglecharm, unfortunately. And that's just kind of through the how the routing ended up being. But I don't want to speak for Gem. He's a much better player than I am, so perhaps he has a better idea in mind. But that seems like a pretty solid plan.
Yeah, I mean, this is also pretty typical, I think, for Gem's routing, is to, after finish Kakariko, he goes down to South Shore and kind of see what other goodies he can pick up for making more decisions. We did see from Mini Moldworm Cave, he ended up picking up Bombos. That's really nice with half magic and a Master Sword. Can certainly clear enemies out much faster. Or at least much more reliable.
Runners of these caliber probably aren't going to be relying on Bombo strats too much, but as you mentioned, Bombos is important because it is a Fire Rod alternative for places like Ice Palace and things like that. So. All right, Gem is not saving and quitting, which means there is a water walk setup happening here. So
yeah, especially
no
being
Moon Pearl,
so close.
So is he gonna commit to like the full check? Like, is he gonna go to Waterfall of Wishing, back to Hobo, and then back up to Zora?
Oh wow! Look at Gem farming for these rupees.
Come on.
He is absolutely. I mean, the last time, jeez.
Oh my god.
He had the shovel to dig himself out to the 5 rupees, and now he just farmed out 30 more right in time for Zora.
Yeah, I mean, it's important to note that at least this time it wasn't the very first,
That's true. Yeah, it was more like the 4th or 5th enemies that he ended up slashing and killing.
that is quite the prize pack. Like, I'm actually curious, like, how far would Gem have gone? You know, like, how long would he have sat there, like, killing enemies? Like, because he didn't get bailed out by the waterfall cave there. That was a piece of heart and some bombs. So, yeah. But I mean, you know, you do have an idea of like prize packs from your previous enemy killing, so like that does come into effect for your play. So it's not like all dumb luck, but yikes. All right, he's getting out. All right, let's see what Zora's got. Wow. Okay.
All right. So yeah, if we were
like,
if we weren't incentivized to go kill Aga at some point with that Master Sword, that cape is definitely going to further incentivize you to do Aga Tower at some point.
I mean, could still be valuable. You know, there is the one cape check remaining.
Yeah.
Yep. Interesting. So Gem is setting up the fake flipper here. I guess he wants to turn in that mushroom before he does, unless he's like doing the mushroom save for fake powder or something.
Yeah, this certainly really is convenient, right? Because he had just saved and put out a Zora, so if he wants to save some of this, he has the option to.
Yeah, definitely. Meanwhile, mooglecharm also setting up a nice water walk. Also doing a similar smart routing here. mooglecharm does have a lot more cash though than Gem, so did not have to do that ridiculous lucky / maybe planned, but probably lucky. All right, we'll see. Now Gem is in a pickle here because he went to all the trouble of turning in that mushroom, so he cannot save scum this bottle because as far as he knows, it could be a logic bottle. So this is going to be one of those things where it might just kind of be on his brain the entire time. You know, I mean, obviously you have to do Agadim, so it's not like he's worried, but it'll be something he has to do. Like when he goes to Dark World, you know, he'll either like have to mirror out extra to check it. So mooglecharm will get some of that time back.
Yeah, as we see here, speaking of trying to get to Dark World access very quickly, Gem is going to attempt his Aga Tower with 5 hearts and Master Sword and the cape.
Yep. All right, so
No.
I mean, these two runners are. I mean, mooglecharm is like right. The lead difference here has not been very great. So the seed seems pretty straightforward. I mean, you basically have to do Agadim. So, you know, both of these runners just beelining it here. It's like, let's get that item. You know, we've got mirror, we've got stuff to do after, you know, the Pyramid of Power. mooglecharm does have the advantage / disadvantage of having already done Saha's Closet, so both runners likely going to be heading over there to do Eastern / Bolus,
Oh, great.
Pendantless, or Bolus, Hammerless Pod.
It's okay. You know, the hammer is always in pod, and the bow is always in Eastern, so no worries.
Yes.
Just do them in that order.
And by always, we mean not actually always, but it sure feels like that way, and I hate the randomizer.
Yeah, and
so we're gonna see some real NMG like strats here. You know, we don't have any overpowered swords, we don't have fire rods, we don't have a whole lot. In fact, we're less than NMG. We don't have the boomerang for key pickup strats or anything like that. So, I mean, you just watch these guys' movements. Like Gem just did a really nice guard kill there, got the door dash from being lined up in the bottom, and here's that bombos thing you mentioned coming into play.
Yeah, it certainly seems like if you can just burn them all. I mean, good runners know when to try and use medallions to kind of to amortize their costs over the room, because we can see on Master Sword and killing any type of red guards actually takes quite a few number of slashes.
Yeah, I mean, that typically you end up using the bow for those guards, and again, like, we're actually less than NMG. This is like a low % Aga Tower run. Of course, if you include, you know, bombos in your low %. And you'll notice that Gem there, those red guards have different RNG, and if that top red guard opts to walk to the right, you know, you could throw pots at the red guard twice and just kill him. And typically what you would do is throw the boomerang there to pick up the key, but I think Gem saw the guard moving. He's like, you know what? I'm just going to burn them all alive. I'm going to burn this place down.
Yeah, especially when you don't need any magic to fight Aga. And you have half magic, you can just spam that bombos medallion.
Yep. Although, mooglecharm, honestly, like, that seemed just about as fast, if not faster, because that bombos animation, like, of the 3 medallions, it is the longest animation. So, I think you definitely see the two different approaches here. They're probably very similar. Gem just opting to go. The Vamos is safe and it is a set amount of time. So if things go bad with like guards running around and hitting you, you know, you could end up losing time. So I definitely I see the advantages to both approaches by both runners here.
Yeah, and you know, just like that, actually, the couple minutes actually passed quite quickly, in my opinion. Both runners are already trying to find Aghanim 1 here.
All right, so it's a blue ball party, which sounds like a kind of party I don't want to be at. And I'm gonna stop that. I'm gonna stop that line just right there, and we're gonna go back to sponsorships because I don't think we're getting any more sponsorships after that attempted joke line right there, Clear Mouse. The Chicken Hut sponsorship is gone. The Hylia Stairmaster Incorporated, they're pulling funding. It's all over.
But we still might have escalator funding, right?
That's true. Yeah, they don't care what we say. Apparently, we can even talk about other sponsorships. They're a pretty laid back company, like Hylia Escalator Corporation, guys. Make sure you support them. Next time you're ROM hacking and putting in escalators, make sure you shop there.
Alright, so I actually was counting the number of blue balls that they had, but it looks like, I don't know, 3, 4, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it can be interesting. Ultimately, both runners have the same, they have the same number, so it's not, super relevant. It just is what it is. Wow, all the pennants on the right side of the map.
Mm-hmm.
Green pennant and Turtle Rock, I saw.
Yeah, I think the other 5-6 was at Meyer.
Yeah, curious to see if Gem is going to commit to... Nope. Running over to Eastern and Saha at that point seems like a bold play when you can just go get the Pearl and then go back and do it the normal way, so...
Yeah, and actually, as Ak very handily pointed out in chat, there was actually quite a big difference in terms of rupee count between Gem and mooglecharm, but once Gem found the 300 rupees... On Pyramid, they don't have any money problems anymore.
Yeah, it is 110 rupees to enter Palace of Darkness if you want to get there. But, you know, mooglecharm, again, with that extra money, is not something he has to worry about as much. I mean, he ended up picking up the money anyway, because you never know, like with Dig Game and stuff like that, you still need money, but...
Yeah, it's also really just fast and free. I mean, why you can spend 300 seconds, sorry, like 3 seconds picking up 300 rupees or something like that, and then you don't have to worry about money ever again for the rest of the scene. Alright, meanwhile, I actually did notice that Gem actually did not even do down, but this really makes a lot of sense. He doesn't want to isolate the Desert Adena area.
Yeah, I mean, see, the thing is that like when there was nothing on Pyramid, and the runner's like, well, I can go get the Moon Pearl, but like, where am I going once I get it, right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Without gloves, they can't even do Catfish. Without Hookshot, they can't, or Hammer, and you know, like there's just not a lot of places they can go that aren't pods. So, and mooglecharm, because mooglecharm already had that one bottle, mooglecharm was able to do a reset and save scum that mushroom. So we'll be able to have access to fake powder, assuming we find Samaria at some point.
Yeah, and given that Meyer is a crystal that they have to complete, we're definitely going to get Samaria in the seed. Just hopefully sooner rather than later. Wow. Alright, so we've got a lot of equipment upgrade already. Gem picking up the Mirror Shield from Akina, and we just saw a Tempered Sword on Desert Legs. I'm sure that's something
I'm seeing some confusion in Twitch chat as to why they're just not going straight for the Moon Pearl, and we kind of brushed over it a little bit, but like we just re-emphasized, like, the reason these runners are still looking is because even once they get the Moon Pearl, like they don't know, like there's not a whole lot else to do in the Dark World once they get it. So the reason the runners did, you know, the Aghanim series at the time is because something could have been on like Pyramid and they would have had to do it anyway. It was a really easy check to do. But now they're kind of following the other breadcrumbs. Like they're looking for a bow, they're looking for like something to put in their bottle glitch. They're looking for like a hook shot or flippers. Like they're just looking for something that'll give them some kind of direction once they get that Moon Pearl. So that's why these runners are still looking around. And meanwhile, Desert, outside of Tempered Sword on the Ledge, we haven't really seen a whole lot in here other than, you know, dungeon items.
Yeah, so far both runners also following a pretty similar path to each other as Gem picks up yet another dungeon item. So hopefully these next two are going to be items here. Because
yeah, honestly,
Gem doesn't have a fire source yet to speak of, so he can't actually clear the back of Desert.
He's got the lantern, I think.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
Yep.
He absolutely has the lantern because how could they do Aga Tower without the lamp? That's right.
I guess you had a hard time seeing that
See?
lantern in their
Yeah,
inventory.
that's right.
Alright, I just had to shed some light on that situation, Clear Mouse.
Oh, I really appreciate that.
No problem.
Alright, so
I read that lantern in the inventory very easily.
Yes. Props to our tracker here, Westside Vandal, to keep things in line for me. Yeah, actually, so it looks like I did see a heart piece and 50 rupees being pulled out of desert, so this clear is just going to be first crystal.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that the items that we find in the desert here will be very illuminating as to, you know, where we can go from here in terms of, like, logic. I've got, like, a list of these, Clear Mouse. Like, strap in. Like, it's happening.
Is this how we're gonna get our sponsorship back, Files?
I heard that Lake Hylia Escalator Company really enjoys terrible, awful puns.
Alright,
So,
looks like actually...
item count-wise, we didn't really, I think that was both items in desert.
That's right.
So Jem opted to bail out. He's like, alright, I'm just gonna go get this Moon Pearl. Obviously, picking up Tempered Sword is a good idea, even for high-skilled runners. Tempered Sword is definitely a time save, so you'll want to pick that up. I'm curious to see where Jem is going to go. We've got a couple places left. We've got all of Eastern Palace. We've got what remains in pod that we can get that isn't bow-locked. I am curious to see if any of these runners will go out of their way to get something in their bottle so they can do a potion camera unlock to get some of the bow-lock stuff in pod. Jem might be more incentivized to do that because he has not done the bottle check yet, whereas mooglecharm has. So yeah, Jem is heading that way, so I suspect we're going to see a sick kid check, and he might spend some of his money to put a potion in a bottle there. We'll have to see. Oh yeah, chat also correctly pointing out that Jem can't actually do, you know, land mode because there's no gloves. So, look, Clear Mouse can't see lanterns, I can't see gloves. That's why we're a good pair. We see the other items. Clear Mouse does the heavy lifting, and then I just point out with the lantern, you know, where to pick up stuff. It works.
Yeah, but I mean, because we already got both items out of desert, and well, Jem, just following your advice here, Files.
Yes. For better or for worse, yeah. Don't follow my advice where you try to go back to desert and then like lift a rock that you can't lift. If only we had some way to place those rocks on an escalator, Clear Mouse, that would move them for us. If
we would have to be able to see the rocks first, right?
Yes, exactly. No lifting by feel here. We follow all OSHA or any Hylian related standards.
That's right. Yeah.
All right, so Jem taking his bottle filled with goo.
Oh, did you see that turn to not get hit by the spear? Jem literally turned to the left, used the shield to dodge the spear, and then turned right back.
See, who says shields are a waste of time at Randomizer?
Wow.
I mean, and these runners continue to be, like, despite a couple of minor route variations, like, mooglecharm is actually going to get back some time on Jem here, because Jem is going to have to mirror at Sahasrahla here to check those items and then come back again, whereas mooglecharm will be able to kind of blow right past it.
Now, I don't think I quite paid attention enough on mooglecharm's side, but he does not have a potion, correct?
I do not believe so.
Yeah, because I think he had a fairy in a bottle here, Sahasrahla's closet. We're gonna see right now from Jem, and he picked up a bottle. That was an empty bottle. Oh no, he saved some. He saved up his mushroom. That's right. So he only has a fairy.
Yep, exactly. So yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see how relevant that'll be. Both runners have a tiny potential out of logic advantage of each other. mooglecharm's got the potential fake powder. Jem's got bowless pod options with potion camera unlock. I would say Jem's in a better position given the state of the game right now and his respective advantage here, but
I mean, this is super close, and basically both runners have just done virtually the same thing.
Oh yeah, it's true. I am reminded that you can potion camera unlock with fairy. It so rarely comes up that I forgot about it, but yes, thank you, chat. All right, so pod, not the answer. So is Jem gonna commit? No, he's not. He's saying, get me to Eastern Palace. Well, after all this nonsense, Clear Mouse, the answer to our question looks
it's
to
still
be...
in Crystal, Eastern Palace without the bow.
Yep, ugh, gross. Well, I mean, ooh, excellent quick swap usage by mooglecharm there. Picking up that cape. Gem, meanwhile, taking a cannonball to the face. So if I had to choose,
shield does nothing.
if I had to choose one of the two options, I feel like, you know, cape cannonball strats are superior. Throwing that out there.
Yeah, well, we can see that mooglecharm actually taking a very slight lead now over Gem because of not being kind of bodied by the cannonballs there.
Exactly. I wonder how they loaded those cannonballs into the launcher. Perhaps with some kind of moving staircase, Clear Mouse? That's right. Lake Highly Escalator Service.
In dungeons now. All right, good to know.
Actually, I don't think that. Well, I mean, look at all those staircases.
Yeah,
See,
it's automatic, right? That's right.
They could be going up those stairs assisted. You know, we need to make Eastern Palace more accessible for people. Come on. All right. Well, mooglecharm got rid of that time by menuing there. Maybe he couldn't. Maybe mooglecharm couldn't remember if that was a big key or something. I'm not sure what that was, but they are back to even again.
And actually surprising, or quick swap really highlights actually the cost of every menu. And so far, nothing really of note here in Eastern Palace. Got a bunch of dungeon items. Yeah,
the items are buried deep in here. We've got, I think all 3 chests here, or I can't remember what was in the first chest. I think it was a dungeon item.
It was the big key, and wow. All right, so I believe we had confirmation in chat from before to prophesize that the gloves here were indeed in Eastern Palace.
It could have been a lot of things though. Like it could have been flute, but gloves were the most obvious answer because now we've got things open up at Death Mountain. We've got some things opened up in the Dark World. But yeah, it's something. But while you're here, why not check the vanilla big key chest in Eastern here? It's in logic with the lantern.
Yeah, and you know it's definitely.
And you know it's an item. Yeah, exactly. So it's really hard to like, you know, put it off. And it was just piece of heart.
All right, so Gem is committing to taking at least a peek into Pendant Pod a little bit further with his potion. Meanwhile, it looks like mooglecharm is going to nope out of Eastern with that glove, probably going to take some other options.
Yeah, there's a couple places you could go. Like, I mean, if this ends up being a bust, Gem could consider like going to Catfish, maybe. It's kind of hard to tell what's faster, but like, I think the Death Mountain play is definitely kind of like the standard bread and butter intended route.
Yeah.
So Gem doing something here called Potion Camera Unlock. Basically, if you have a bottle, you can utilize what's in the bottle to kind of offset the camera a little bit, and it unlocks the camera in this room. And the door is triggered to open not when all the enemies are killed, but just when there aren't any enemies off screen. Now, the traditional way to do that is to kill them, so they're no longer off screen, or no longer on screen, but the camera unlock lets you kind of force them to walk off the screen, so it's kind of a neat little trick.
Yeah, and of course, the reason why we had to do it, if we don't have the bow, is that in order to kill the red mimics, you need a bow.
Most certainly. Or you could just have a piece of glass. Perhaps with text on the side that says, you know, Lake Hylian Escalator Company. That's right.
That's right. Yeah, automatic movement from
Lake Hylian Escalator Company, moving you forward in the seat. That should be their tagline. I miss my calling in marketing, Clearmouse.
It's not too late, Files. Never too late to go back.
I feel like it might be at this point. I feel like it might be. All right, so Gem definitely getting some stuff out of logic here. So if he finds something, it could be very cool, but likely not intended. Was that Mitz on? That
was the Mitz on Spectacle Rock. So mooglecharm is definitely following much closer to the logic than Gem is at this point. So he's going to pick those Mitz up immediately.
Yeah, I mean, there are the benefits to doing out of logic checks are A, you can kind of blow the seed open a little bit if you find something like way before you should. And B, it could kind of really improve your routing efficiency in terms of like how fast you're able to clear checks, because you could just do them when it's more convenient for you. But the downside can be is you might end up like doing extra dips in dungeons or like climbing Death Mountain more times than you should. So it's definitely not something that you should do just because you could do it. You need to do it when it makes sense. And I think for Gem here, it kind of did make sense. Like he went to the trouble of getting that bottle and he was already here. Like it kind of made sense to do this. And Quake is the only super useful item I think we found in Pod there.
Yeah, that's certainly the only item worth noting in terms of potential progression. Yeah, as you said, you know, Pod is a pendant. He's probably gonna just come back here once he has the bow for Eastern, and then do you really want to dip Pod at that point? When especially the number of items you could get out of Pod is actually quite high for potential.
Oh yeah, well, and it's also worth noting too that Pod is a pendant, so like, you know, like, it's not like mooglecharm is especially incentivized, you know, to go there, especially now that we have, we can access the other side of the Dark World essentially with those mitts. You know, we can get to the Thieves Town area and all that other stuff. So there's a lot of things to do, especially with the mirror over there. So it might be a while before mooglecharm finds it convenient, I guess, to do pendant Pod. So of course that quake could be completely useless. We don't know. There's only one Misery Mire crystal dungeon, so.
Yeah, actually, speaking of though, we're gonna be able to get a sneak peek pretty soon because mooglecharm actually picked up Titan's Myth just flew over.
Did Jem just give an old man wings? Wow.
Thank you, Jem.
Hovering the old man cave. Wow. Impressive. The most unnecessarily and risky swag. I guess it's not that risky. You don't fall that far back, but like, come on. Good stuff. All right, the only way it gets better is if somebody hovers the moldworm hole, middle hole. But that would be insanity. I don't know why anyone would do that.
No one in chat, of course. Alright, looks like Jem has spotted his Titan's Myth on Spectacle Rock. He's gonna grab those very shortly here after enters the Dark World. Meanwhile,
Jem probably doesn't feel too behind at this point. Like, the pod check made sense. He did get something out of it. But mooglecharm is definitely ahead in the, like, intended route game right now. He's got the entirety of Tower of Hera pretty much done, so.
Yeah, that's true.
We're probably hoping for like mirror or excuse me, hammer or hook shot, like to get access to the other side of Death Mountain while you're here, but unfortunately that's not the case. So yeah, heading over to doing the quick swap mirror out of Sanctuary. Meanwhile, Jem getting just disrespected by that Dead Rock.
The Blue Mill does nothing for him. So sad.
Do you know who Dead Rocks probably work for? Highly Stair Company.
No, they don't want sponsorship. We need sponsorship files.
No. They're dead to me. It's all Lake Highly Escalator Company now. I've planted my flag in the soil.
Yeah, as you said here, no hammer, no hook shot means no access to the rest of Death Mountain, but also no Hera pot today.
Yep.
So we're gonna have to see this room the old-fashioned way.
The right way. Anyway, so we got mooglecharm. No fire out to speak of, but the front of Skull Woods is kind of a relatively high value location in terms of the randomizer. So
yeah,
especially with a mirror, you can kind of go in and out of here relatively easy to get checks done. So
yeah, exactly. And you know, being able to make these checks may or may not be able to give them some more direction. We don't have the hammer right now, so going into even Crystal Thieves Town, right, without the hammer is not always like the best of options.
Oh yeah, definitely. No Canis Samaria to make this statue
really
check easy. So
at least the good news is that they have Temper Sword by now. So, but unfortunately, mooglecharm here has Sword Beams. This is not where you want Sword Beams to go. Because I was gonna say you could just kind of slash at these guys a couple times to kill them, but the Sword Beams are not making his life easy.
Yeah, that Gibdos was not cooperating. mooglecharm did avoid the deadliest sin there, which is getting wall mastered. So, and all that hard work is rewarded by a map. So
yeah, looks like mooglecharm's gonna steal that key from the back, make his routing a little bit nicer.
Jem opting not to do the center hole hover. So
we already saw him hovering with the old man. That
nope,
I think
too
is
late.
really
Expectations are set high. You know what the easiest way to get over the center hole is, Clear Mouse? By using a Lake Hylia escalator.
It'll just
you
automatically
can slap that
move
baby
you right
down,
across.
gets you right across. I'm telling you, it's the only way to go.
All right, so I didn't actually notice if mooglecharm ended up doing the basement. I thought he did not, given how fast he kind of went out of Death Mountain. But it looks like there's going to be an item for us in the basement.
Yeah, that is definitely correct. It's kind of a, I don't know if bold play is the right word. Like, there's definitely not like, there's so many things that just opened up with those mitts that like I think Jem is just like, I don't know when I'm going to get back up here to Death Mountain again. So I think he just wants to commit to this check. So
Yeah, Jem is certainly, as we've seen so far, been very thorough wherever he's gone. This includes, trying to get a lot of value out of Pod. This includes doing the tile room here in Hera Basement. He just wants to make sure that wherever he is, he's not going to orphan anything.
yeah, definitely.
Oh, all right. So
that is probably the best item that Jem could have found, because that negates the mushroom advantage that that mooglecharm has. So Jem might have spent a lot of time doing that, but I mean, knowing the story of this seed, that powder check is probably gonna end up being useless. But that is pretty funny.
Yeah, but at least in this case, both runners will have the option of being able to find useless things. All right, speaking of useless, we see 20 rupees here on Graveyard Ledge, so it's out of the way location. It's not going to be worth it.
See that you'll notice that mooglecharm opted to include this check-in with the Graveyard Ledge check, whereas Jem kind of just opted straight for the King's Tomb. There's kind of two schools of thought there. You do potentially isolate the Graveyard check, but if something important that is affecting routing is in King's Tomb, you do have access to it earlier, so you could maybe put those checks off until later if you have other higher value checks. There's definitely two ways to approach that, and both of them are valid. So with boots, I mean, obviously you need to have boots to get into King's Tomb anyway, but with boots, the time to kind of jet your way across those screens is not incredibly large, so the time differential there is not like gigantic. But when you got runners of this quality, you'll take every little advantage you can get. So
yeah, especially if, let's say, like the hammer was there, that would have been a really huge play for mooglecharm.
Yeah, definitely. Wow, so we've got Tempered Sword, Red Mail, and Mirror Shield. No bow though, so I was about to say silvers, but we don't even have our starter bow.
Alright, we have a vanilla 300 here in the brewery.
That's all the illicit money from the Hylian Stair Company. That's right, they do illicit jobs not to kill it, and then they hide all their money.
That's right. Well, at least they're putting it in places that our runners have easily access to.
Yeah, look at what they had to do to get to this brewery. Walk down some rickety stairs that aren't even automated, Clear Mouse. I'm telling you. They aren't even safe. They look all rusty and stuff.
I mean, this is the Dark World. I mean, so I have trouble seeing some things, but maybe if I had some illumination to help me out here.
Exactly. I can't lift what you're saying. All right, I had nothing for the gloves, Clear Mouse. I'm sorry. You set me up so perfectly, and I had nothing. All right, so we got Dig Game here from mooglecharm. Obviously, you want to get you potentially want to get Dig Game done before, because you can't do Dig Game if you have any followers behind you, like a purple chest or a frog. But Jem is opting to, I think, get these checks done before even considering setting foot in Hammerless Thieves Town. And he's taking that powder he got.
That's right. He is really pressing his advantage here.
Yeah, this is actually an important check, because this could be, because we talked about mooglecharm potentially having access to here, but you need the Canis Samaria to do fake powder. So what do we got here? This is going to be very interesting. Ha! $20.
Alright, so, Jem at least has a really nice safety for powder.
Oh yeah, I mean, with Red Mail and Tempered Sword, I don't think Jem's gonna need a ton of safeties, but I am amused that after all that hype and potential difference, that it was just a red ruby.
Looks like on mooglecharm's side, he had a little bit of indecision potentially to turn in the Smith here first. But looks like he has made some decisions. Meanwhile, on Jem's side, he's a little bit further ahead to be able to turn in the Smith here.
Well, when you do the powder check without hammer,
you
lose your portal.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
he's gotta go back around here. I mean, I don't blame Jem for doing it. He took the time to invest in that Hera basement check. So, oh, by the way, 20 rupees. I think we found where the boots were.
Yeah, we found the item replacement for where the boots were.
Yep.
Alright, so actually this is our kind of like second, I think, major point of route divergence. Because Gem kind of had to lose his portal and he was already kind of up here, he's going to be able to do his Skullwoods checks. Meanwhile, Mooglecharm is going to make further progress into the Smith chain and turn in that purple chest and allow do his mirror checks here in Dark South World. South Dark Worlds. There we go.
There you go. We got there. Yeah, I think this is just a continuation of kind of the story of the, both the runners are very close when they were in the Eastern Palace area. Gem opted to do some auto logic checks, which made a lot of sense at the time. And Mooglecharm opted to kind of go where the seed was telling him to go in terms of like where the progression was. And I think the time difference continues to be very similar at this point. So now Gem is doing these Skullwoods checks that his his opponent did. And I suspect that Mooglecharm is going to be doing like the Bombos checks, the purple chest check, and Hype Cave and all the other good stuff.
Yeah, speaking of the purple chest check and quick swap there, Mooglecharm's purple chest is nowhere to be seen on his screen, but the nice little neat trick is that as long as you mirror right in front of the guy who actually unlocks the purple chest for you, it's as if you had it all along. In your heart, but also on the screen.
Yes, the purple chest is like the spirit of friendship and competitiveness that we have in the league. You might not be able to see it, but it was there the whole time.
Yeah, it was almost as if there was some automatic thing that just moved the purple chest, from where it was to where Mooglecharm wanted to be.
Yeah, it really escalates the spirit of competition. That's right. Lake Holly Escalator Company. Escalating the competitions. Yeah. All right, there's our bow.
Oh, all right. That is first major piece of progression for both runners' side for actually quite some time here.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting it was either going to be like here or Hype Cave or probably in Thieves Town based off of the checks that we've seen. I mean, I guess it could be in somewhere gross like Catfish or something like that. But yeah, the bow will get us. I guess there's an item on Armos. We know that. I don't remember the item counts for Pod. If Helmasaur had an item, maybe chat can or the tracker can bail us out. All right, Westside Vandal bailing me out. There is an item on Helmasaur. Good work. All right, let's see how this Hype Cave is here. 10 arrows, no one cares. 20 rupees, who gives a crap? 10 arrows, already said it. Oh, okay, KSR.
All right. That
Bailed
is the other piece. That's right. So now, actually, I'm kind of curious if Mooglecharm's going to actually go back at some point to do fake powder.
Yeah, I mean, no hammer, and you got to drain your entire half magic bar. Like, it's not nothing, but it's not like particularly exciting. I suspect what. Yeah, Mooglecharm using the save and quit, being at the Pyramid Knowledge, probably just going to head over to Eastern Palace. Now, keep in mind, Mooglecharm did not go independent pod at all. So I suspect what'll happen is we'll get a mirror to Armos, get the kill there, see if it drops anything, and if it doesn't, probably full committing to pod. Mooglecharm will have the advantage of actually having the bow, so if the item on Helmasaur is relevant, or if the pennant is somehow necessary for pedestal, that could be an advantage for Mooglecharm. Meanwhile, Gem opting to dive into Hammerless Thieves Town and picks up the flute.
All right, that is a really nice piece. So convenient. Not only can once you finish up Thieves Town, or only just do the first 4 checks, just mirror, activate your flute, and now actually Gem has access to the Mire area, so he can actually just check medallions immediately.
Yeah, this could be. If Misery Mire is Quake, that's definitely a point for Gem. Although it looks like Mooglecharm at this point will end up picking up that, will end up picking up that Quake anyway. So. Yeah, I'm really curious. We've still got a lot of items at large here. 46 minutes into the seed.
Yeah, 46 minutes in, as you said, we only have 1 crystal player actually.
Not only with just 1 crystal, but only 1 dungeon, like in general. Like sometimes you're at this point, you're like, I've only got 1 crystal done, but you've got a couple of lame pendant dungeons done that didn't have any items, and you're sat on the inside, and that certainly hasn't happened to me, and that's not why I'm talking about it.
Did you need something to escalate your mood, Files?
Nice, good work. I am promoting you to full-time shill. You
good.
No
Does it come with any money?
Well, you got to show for your money here, Claremont.
Oh, okay. We actually can see that, even though Gem is kind of dipping here without the hammer in Thieves Town, which is really never a super great feeling, you notice that he actually did this after he made a lot of other overworld checks, and hopefully he can get some hammer. So if the hammer doesn't end up turning out, so maybe it'll be kind of okay. Either that you'll find the hammer here, or your opponent will also do the same thing, in which case you're in the same boat.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think the key differences here are going to be Gem got Flute out of Hammerless Thieves Town, but Mooglecharm could potentially get something out of the boss on Helmasaur. It's kind of a tough call because I mean going all the way down to Helmasaur is quite a bit of time, you know, and it could be all for nothing.
Mm-hmm. I would be.
I would be shocked if Mooglecharm didn't do it, but.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, for Gem to go all the way to Helmasaur and kill him when he did pod initially probably didn't make as much sense because he has so much more open to him. But Mooglecharm's here a lot later, so it can definitely influence his decision for how far he goes in the pod.
Oh yeah, true. We keep talking about Helmasaur, but there's no hammer. we are the worst. Yeah, we're still hammer at large here. So yeah, no hammer. Can't get to pod.
Yeah, unfortunately, I was not actually counting the number of items here in Thieves Town. I thought I saw one dungeon item, but I'm not sure if I saw both of them. Gem unfortunately has a small key at this point, which means that if there is a dungeon item,
there is still one item like out there, so it's a 50-50 here as to whether it's what we want or what we don't want.
Hey, Files, is there something about a blind fight and scripted that you want to tell us about?
No, a blind fight is incredibly difficult and changes every time.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, the other thing. It's the same every time. At least the first time you enter the room. So, alright, there's our last item. It is, in fact, a blue Rippy. So, you know, scripted fight, not scriptedly useful item. Alright, I had nothing on that one.
Oh no, it was a really nice clear from Gem though, picking up his second crystal. Yeah, looks like nothing of note from the back of Thieves Town, but as we see right here,
I mean that's a convenient location for the flute to be, right? Like you just mirror out, play the song of your people, get access to a duck. I mean, I wouldn't surprise me if Gem went like straight to the Misery Mire area. I mean, we don't have Canis Samaria, so even if the Misery Mire entrance is Bombos or Quake, we can't complete it, but there's Mire Shed area, there's a few other things over there to check, so.
That's right, yes, Gem hasn't been to Hype Cave yet, which is where the Canis Samaria is. But, you know, as you said, if he just floats over to a Mire, he can always get back there really quickly.
Well, I mean, he might be, he's resisting the temptation, so he might be doing that exact thing right now, because if he takes us down and goes all the way to Hype Cave, he will have his Canis Samaria, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is kudos, I think, just for Gem to be more thorough.
Oh yeah.
Make sure that he doesn't isolate these things. Yeah,
well, and again, I think that like preserving your warp point access there, like it is just a bit faster time. So I think one of the most interesting things that we're going to see is whether or not the Misery Mire entrance is Quake, because I think both runners ended up doing Pendant Pod, even though they probably thought that their opponent might not have. So if it's Quake, both of them might be feeling like, yeah, like I've got an advantage, when in reality, like they both did it.
Meanwhile, Mooglecharm here is actually going to finish up the eastern checks. This is, if there's an item here on Armos, this will actually be a pretty good advantage. Sorry, if there's going to be a good item here on Armos.
I can feel it in my bones, Clear Mouse.
I mean, Gem picked up the powder from Hera Basement. It turns out Magic Bat had nothing, but at least he got some safety out of it, right?
That's true. And this is a check that we have not seen yet, so I'm curious to see if there is anything in Armos. Oh, Mooglecharm takes a little bit of a body shot, so Armos goes a little off script.
Yeah, it looks like one of them just got a little away from him, but he's got enough arrows for this, so it shouldn't be a big deal. Meanwhile, on Gem's side, Alright, so Gem won't be at too much of a disadvantage in that he's going to pick up his actual bow here, probably the one intended via logic, but those silvers for Mooglecharm, assuming he still has them for Vitreous and Gem doesn't visit Armos before then, he'll have a really nice time.
That simultaneous bow get from the two of them is pretty amusing. Good old Bullock bow, thanks V31. Well, so we're pretty kitted out here, Clear Mouse. We've got silvers and tempered and red mail and riot shield and like I think really what's holding back Mooglecharm at this point is I think Mooglecharm really needs to get to Thieves Town, pick up that flute, Gem is well on the path to picking up his Samaria here, so I suspect we'll see a jaunt over to that location. But I think mooglecharm is heading over to Catfish.
Yeah, that looks like it, because there's probably nothing of note up here, because he already done Graveyard Ledge. So I think he probably just wants to make sure that this thing isn't isolated. And this is something that, if there is something here on Catfish, this is probably a location that Gem is just not going to visit for quite some time.
Oh yeah, I mean I could see Gem doing like Eastern before Meyer, but like, yeah, here we go. So he's committing by not taking that portal. Like we know he's not going to do, you know, pod. Now obviously non-green pendant 1 item pod is not like a particularly exciting check when it's a pendant. So this is a very reasonable play here. I suspect that once he clears this out, he'll be heading over to Meyer.
He needs to go to Thiefstone first?
Oh yeah. In my head, clear mouse, he hit it already.
He already has it, because it's just in his heart, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's a pretty logical play. Like, you know, there won't be anything here, so yes. All right, let's check out this Catfish check. This is another check that we have not seen yet. And
oh wow, that is an amazing fight for mooglecharm. Catfish holding up with us with the hook shots.
Yikes! So yeah, that is going to be going to be a tough check for Gem. He's got too much stuff to do. And hookshot, even though Gem is as he clearly demonstrated, if he has this help of an old man, he's capable of hovering. But you cannot hover Swamp Palaces, so gotta have that hookshot.
Yeah, and we can actually see, unfortunately, with these dead rocks.
I don't know
why you insulted them, Files. You know, if we just had their sponsorship, maybe, you know, mooglecharm would have had a bit easier time here.
Oh god, if only there was a way to like place those dead rocks on some kind of moving platform to get them out of your way. Like how the Escalator Company people. Look into it.
I was gonna say, with this hookshot pickup, this is gonna really incentivize for mooglecharm to try and do the east side of Death Mountain, both light and dark. He has the mirror, he has the mist, he has a hookshot, he has like probably what, like 15-ish check, something like that? Between the light and dark.
It's pretty heavy. I mean, honestly, there's like, I will be a little surprised because like, what are we missing? We're missing Fire Rod at this point, and potentially Ether. We don't know about that, and Hammer, because Hammer is still a large. So I mean, there are a lot of checks over here, but there's definitely a lot of places to go right now. The hookshot does unlock. Well, I guess not. I mean, there's one check in Swamp Palace without the hammer we can check, but yeah, hammer go mode is always a weird place to be in with a seed. Like, you always forget like how many incidental things are locked by the hammer, like, you know, Swamp Palace or most of Ice Palace.
Yeah, meanwhile, it looks like Gem's gonna Gem had a really nice Armos quick kill there.
Oh yeah, and Flippers.
Picked up his silvers. Yep. And he is headed straight over to the Meyer area. Looks like it's Ether today, which is the one medallion we don't have. So put that on the list, Files.
It's a big list.
It is actually surprising. We're at 55 minutes in, and we're probably what, like, yeah, as you said, 3 or 4 items away from go mode.
Was that Ether Misery Meyer?
Yeah, it was Ether. That's right.
Yeah. Yep. So all that talk about Quake in Pen and Pod and ends up not mattering. Although I guess something could be in Turtle Rock, maybe.
Oh yeah, no progression has ever been in Pendant Turtle Rock when we find the Ice Rat so early. All right, looks like Jeff's just gonna clean up his checks here. You know, we already got both items out of Desert, but he's right here in the Mystery Mire area. He's just gonna clear out the ammo with silvers. It should be a really fast ride.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so mooglecharm also getting the news about. Oh wait, okay. So Turtle Rock is Quake.
Right. Because, you know, more pendant dungeons begets more pendant dungeons, right?
Yeah, that is very interesting. Now I'm worried. Like, what could be in there? Fire Rod could potentially be in there.
Mm-hmm.
Hammer obviously can't. Flippers certainly could be. Wow. I guess Ether could, depending on the layouts.
Yeah,
so
Ether can be many places.
So yeah, that's you know, straight up pure vanilla medallions. Right, Hookshot Cave, not a whole lot of anything here.
He did get the other boomerang, which is, you know, I guess nice, maybe.
which
Not
is
sure.
knowable.
Not sure.
It
yeah, I
sure
mean,
is
so
an item,
far-
Clear Mouse.
That's right. Maybe worth, you know, more than 5 rupees. Yeah, so far it looks like the mountain checks haven't really yielded anything of note. We got some knowledge for the Turtle Rock Medallion, but other than that...
Yeah, I'm actually really curious to see what's in checkerboard here, because it's, Oh, interesting. All right, mooglecharm opting to
Mooglecharm's
check the
gonna come
bottom
back.
Mahara basement. So that'll be a very confusing powder. Okay.
Oh. Alright, so we found Ether.
Yeah, it's the classic, you know, door key under the floor mat, right?
That's right. It's the classic medallion under the rug. Yep.
Yep.
Alright, so I think I know where Gem's probably going to go next, given that he hopped right back in his portal, and he's going to open up Meyer right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty straightforward play. I mean, get it done while you're here. The thing with the logic has you opening up the mire area for the first time, and then you find the entrance to mire in it. Like, it's it feels like a strong indication that you're going to want to head in there, but...
Yeah, maybe. And the fact that this is a clearable, fully clearable crystal dungeon, I mean, this is Gem's probably one of Gem's best options at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's clearable. You need to do it. Get it done. All right, Mire 2 from Gem. How does he do? Has to use Ice Rod strats, but does one cycle it.
Ice Rod.
The Ice Rod is it's like the... You know, it's like when you go to the ice cream store and like they're out of your favorite ice cream and you're like, well, I guess I'll have Ice Rod flavor. It's like, it gets the job done, but it's not your favorite.
You know, I think it's quite refreshing that we get to see that room done with the Ice Rod because everybody always used the Fire Rod. Just
Whatever.
like, you know, how often do you get
cool,
to see a hovering from Old Man?
Fire Rod makes that cool, like, pew pew noise. Ice Rod's just like, pachink, like, bleh, who cares? It moves slow. I'm Team Fire Rod. It's because it's fast and it's efficient and it moves things along fast, just like the Lake Highly Isolator Company. Just like Lake Highly Isolator Company.
That's right, yeah. So maybe we need a couple nails here to make sure those escalators don't move. Because Gem just found the hammer out of the first, second chest of Mire.
So yeah, Gem is in a lot of trouble because that hammer just gave him a bajillion things to do that aren't catfish. So I'm not saying it's over because there is certainly a lot of game left here. We still got items at large, including flippers and Fire Rod, but that hookshot is going to be, I think, Gem's bane at this point. I'm trying to think of like how would he route that in? Like maybe if he's like, I got nothing, Clear Mouse.
I mean, if he hasn't checked Graveyard Ledge yet, so that is certainly an option. He's going to be able to route those together.
He could do that, but that entirely depends on him really having. Oh, by the way, cool tech right there. Using the door state to go through that rail. It's always cool to see. But yeah, that does depend on him either finding flippers or setting up like a current jump or like a fake flipper setup on the top of the Dark World there to get across the lake. So.
Yeah, maybe
where is Flute Dropsy? It's right there.
Yeah,
there you go.
That's right. Yeah, mooglecharm is making his way into Crystal Thieves Town, but given that he probably doesn't have a lot of options left for him, he's probably just going to pull through this without the hammer as well.
Oh yeah.
We know, we know on Gem's side that he's not going to get punished for not having the hammer here.
Oh yeah, well, and ironically, the hammer is locked behind that flute anyway.
That's right.
So, yeah, so I mean,
that's right.
If there was something important, like if the chests had worked their way out to be that there was something important in Thieves Town, it would have been a required double dip anyway. So, but that is not the case. So, Gem is going to have a lot of stuff to do with that hammer. But again, we're missing flippers for the Swamp Palace Crystal. We're missing Fire Rod for the Skull Woods Crystal. So yeah, Gem is still going to be missing some key items to get things done. So it'll be real interesting to see what he ends up deciding to do here. Mooglecharm's path is relatively a bit more straightforward for us. Like I suspect he's going to chase that flute, get into Mire, and kind of do what Gem is doing right now.
Yeah, probably the biggest danger right now is if Gem Well, the longer he delays Catfish, probably the more of an advantage mooglecharm's gonna have.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate here also with the wire layout is that you see Gem trying to put off this chest as long as he could possibly do because he was trying to find both items, and wow, both items of progression are the flippers and the hammer here in Wire.
That's actually, I mean, just like you talked about, I mean, that's Gem's inroad to potentially picking up the hook shot on Catfish. So that's actually good for Gem, I think, in the long run. I mean, he'll probably full clear swamp, right? Like he'll probably just do left side swamp with diver down. And...
Yeah, that is
no
a
hook shot,
danger. Well, right. So he doesn't have the hook shot, which means he can't actually clear swamp. But there is that option, just with the flippers, that he can take a dip into Swamp Palace without the hook shot. Not sure how attractive that seems, but if that's your only option.
Yeah, I mean, I had forgotten, like, we were so focused on, like, how Gem would route his way to Catfish, and the flippers might help him do it, but the flippers also open up, you know, left side swamp. Now, left side swamp could still have, like, you know, the fire rod, so it's not like it's potentially a totally dead check, but yeah, that is a really interesting thing for sure. But I think what'll end up happening is he'll probably, with that hammer, he's probably gonna go into like Ice Palace, get that all finished up. With Canis Samaria, it's a relatively quick clear now with Icebreaker. So if Fire Rod is in there, which is certainly possible, we could see some interesting routing. So I don't know. There's a lot on the table here. This is a very interesting scene.
Yeah, that's right. You know, and just the fact that we have, as you said, both progression items here, it opens up so much dynamics for Gem. Speaking of that, really nice Vitreous fight there, making sure that he had exactly enough arrows.
Yeah. And mooglecharm successfully completing the blind scripted fight. I don't know if you knew that, Clearmouse. But blind is a
you know, I think you might have mentioned that when Gem was blind, but you know, it's a really good reminder.
I just want to be very clear. All right, so Gem, you just found 2 crazy items. Where are you going? Probably Ice Palace.
Ice Palace is a pendant. I'm hoping that he doesn't take that option, but right now the fact that he has the hammer and the mirror means that a lot of deck bounds open to him.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He did not do. Yeah, no hook shot. He has not been over here. Okay, that makes sense. Gem doing cool movement tech up the ladder. Doing it with a bomb is always hilarious because if you throw the bomb in the wrong direction, you have to like wait for the explosion. So that always makes me laugh. All right, so we've got.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what is mooglecharm doing over here? I had just remembered that he has picked up the powder from Hera Basement, and he is going to make sure that this doesn't cost him any more time.
Yep. I mean, you know, we'll lose the portal, but it's like he's just gonna, you know, flute out anyway. So, it's kind of hilarious that went to all that trouble. Honestly, it was a smart play to try to preserve that mushroom because the fake powder could have been relevant, but ended up finding the powder anyway in Hera Basement. So.
Yeah, my guess is also, you know, he's just making sure that he's kind of cleaning up these one-off locations before heading over to the Mire area.
So Gem opening up Turtle Rock, I guess I say, I feel like committing to like first chest Turtle Rock in case it's Fire Rod seems like a bold play when you have all these other checks that you could do. So I think he was just opening it up while he's there. He had every medallion, so like he knew he was going to be able to open it. But yeah, chat correctly pointing out that first chest Fire Rod in Pendant Turtle Rock would be just terrible for Gem because like he would be pretty incentivized to full clear that dungeon, and we know that hookshot is not there. Meanwhile, mooglecharm making his way through the Mire area, about to find that Ether Medallion, and we'll be finishing up Mire and enjoying the plethora of treasures within.
Yeah, so I guess after mooglecharm clears Mire, he will be in Fire Rod Go mode, correct?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, so right, so it looks like the items that Gem needs to find right now is the Fire Rod and the hookshot. We know what the hookshot is, and then after Mire, mooglecharm will basically just be looking for that fire source.
Yeah, I mean, and when we are also still looking for fire rod too.
Mhm.
Like we don't know where it is. So I am. There's a lot of places that it could be, for sure. The only place it can't be is pedestal. That's right. Get wrecked, Twitch chat.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious if after mooglecharm, oh, that's right, he's gonna pick. He's probably gonna clean up desert before heading into Mire for sure. And then, yeah, after this, mooglecharm I think has access to a fully clearable Swamp Palace.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, mooglecharm is definitely going to be a little bit on rails here. We'll clear desert. We'll finish up Mire. While in Mire, we'll pick up flippers and hammer. So that'll be a crystal dungeon there. And then I would assume that with flippers and hookshot and hammer in tow, the Swamp Palace would be next. All right, let's see mooglecharm silver's landmo. Oh, gets. The first shot is such the important shot because it sets the rhythm for how the rest of the fight goes. And when you miss it, it's very easy to get all kind of topsy-turvy.
Alright, Jem is decided to kind of take more time here in Hookshot Cave without the hookshot.
He's
he was able to
it.
hover with a companion. Let's see if he can hover just by himself.
He can't do it without old man support. All right, he's going back for round 2. The old man, the spirit of the old man was inside you the whole time, Jem. Come on. I almost said the old man was inside him the whole time, but I realized that was also going to lose the sponsorships. Oh, he was so close. He was so close. How long is he going to stay? If he's here a long time, he could bleed a lot of time away over mooglecharm. Like, this is great news for mooglecharm because the longer Jem spends, essentially, because we know that there's nothing important in here, and the longer he spends wasting time on these failed hovers, the more time he's making up. Now, this is a difficult one here because you have to line up perfectly for that bounce to work. He does get it. All right. Come on, Jem. I believe in you. I believe in you.
Oh, really nice job.
Yeah,
really nice job there, Jem. He's got his piece of pie now from Hookshot Cave.
All right, let's see mooglecharm's Mire 2, very close. Ice Rod strat. The problem with using beams to get that far whiz robe is that the projectile is so wide that it tends to hit the popo there, so it's difficult to one cycle it.
Yeah, all right, so we got fire rod.
Yeah, we got our Turtle Rock check here. All right, so for Jem's sake, we don't want to see fire rod in this chest, but for hilarity's sake, I want to see it.
All right, Big Key is locked out. That's good though. I mean, that's actually like really good knowledge because that means that he needs a fire rod to keep going, and hopefully that'll be his go mode.
Well, the thing is if knowing that Turtle Rock is straight up fire rod checked are locked, if he's still looking for hookshot, he might be more tempted to go into Turtle Rock to find it. So that could be bad news bears for Jem. So I don't know. We'll have to see.
I certainly hope that, even though Turtle Rock could be more item dense, I was hoping that Jem would kind of clean up some of like the one-off checks, in the overworld before kind of making up another mountain trip up. All right, so I think
Jem's got some interesting choices to make with hammer and no hookshot in terms of like what he wants to do. Like he's got pendant ice palace that feels gross.
Yeah, I was actually gonna say I think I did not at least see mooglecharm checking Spike Cave, but it turns out it was just the last set of the 300 rupees that we were looking for. There's no more money for sponsorships anymore, Files.
Oh, so I can stop shilling?
That's right.
Oh, thank God, because escalators are just absolutely the worst, man. Like, Mitch Hedberg was wrong. When they break, they are worse than stairs. Wait, I'm getting a note here that we had actually signed on for a 3C deal. I take it all back, guys. Escalators are the greatest. Oh God, please don't fire me.
Oh, Jem here is going to give us a new check, potentially. I had actually completely forgotten that because we cleared Kara and Mire, we can take a look at what's in Fairy. Jem is doing an alternate version of the Spawn Duke here because he's taking advantage of that Ag 1 portal.
Yep, yeah, the the bomb dupe here is actually, it's pretty free. It's even easier than the bomb dupe that you have to do without having the Aga portal present. So for anyone looking for a cool trick, if you want to look that up, it's the movement for it is pretty straightforward. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I also had forgotten that the Misery Mire was the other 5/6 crystal. So this will be interesting.
Yeah, this will actually be pretty convenient here for Gem because he's already kind of near the top of the pyramid, and so if he's kind of in the farther
Catfish?
north, yeah.
Close to catfish. Oh my god, is he doing it?
Yeah, he's definitely gonna go there. Probably do a catfish and then go to Graveyard Legend.
No, he's going there.
Oh, he might be doing a hobo check here.
Oh yeah, you're right. There's still time. There's still time for catfish. Oh man, that was the ultimate debate.
Yeah, I can definitely see him going to catfish before going to Pendant Helmet.
I mean, yeah, but like, technically pause on the way. I guess you got flute. Like it's so easy to get back there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Gem. This could be your race.
He got so much money from the hobo. He doesn't need any more. He's just gonna go further north, right, Gem?
Oh my god, it's happening.
It looks like it's happening.
Alright, so, wait, did mooglecharm skip cutscene chest? I see a hammer, but no flippers. Just busy watching Gem not go to catfish. Okay, this will be important because mooglecharm does not go back in. He might be doing like the classic Vitreous gamble, you know, just to see if the item's here before you commit. It's very important that he goes back in. So I'm sorry,
I thought he was actually gonna go there. Oh no, sorry, no worries here. Yeah, I actually thought that this was actually gonna be, as you said, exactly what he was gonna do because it's a 50-50 shot that Vitreous has the item. So then if Vitreous has the item, he doesn't have to do cutscene shots.
Yeah, I mean it's not a terrible gamble, but it's very important that oh no.
Go back to your portal. It's really important.
Oh, that is
no.
And with mooglecharm walking away from flippers and Misery Mire and Gem on the other side of the screen picking up that hook shot that he routed late, suddenly this game has been completely flipped over from where it was. That is incredible.
Flipped over or just moved from one side to another?
Wait, I can't remember. Do I like escalators still, Cameras? I don't know what's real anymore.
We've been re-signed. Yeah, but actually, yeah, with that, assuming mooglecharm had gone back to get the flippers from the cutscene chest and Gem picking up the hook shot, I think it actually would have been a pretty close race, right? Because both runners would have cleared the same amount of stuff, and basically, you know, they're just a swamp palace away from heading up to GT.
Well, I think at this point, at this point, if Fire Rod is in Swamp Palace, I have a hard time. Like I don't see how Gem doesn't win this game essentially, just because of that flipper skip from mooglecharm. However, if Fire Rod is not in here and like he has to go looking around, then I think the game is still alive though. Like if Fire Rod is somewhere gross like inside Pendant Ice Palace or like on Helmasaur or something, like that would be this game is still very much not over. But I mean, mooglecharm will have to go back to Mire. The problem with a skip like that is a lot of times when runners make that skip, they're like, all right, if it's there, I lose, because going back is so costly. So I'm just trying to figure out like when and how mooglecharm would route that in, because the whole desert area is clear except for that item. So.
Yeah, initially I just thought that he wasn't ever going to go back to Hera Basement, but then he found the mist, right? And he hadn't been up to Death Mountain at all, and he was kind of able to kind of recoup some of his losses, some of his potential losses.
Like,
but
like
yeah,
the Hera Basement skip is easier to kind of account for because of all that Death Mountain stuff you mentioned. But yeah, the Mire is like that's brutal. Like you have to go specifically back for that one check. All right, mooglecharm, what are you up to?
That looks like he's gonna chase that hammer. He's gonna do hammer pegs. This is like his third or fourth time over here. Kind of unfortunate.
Well, the way the seed ended up being in terms of like the flute being in Thieves Town, like this hammer peg check was going to be impossible not to kind of have been singled out. So this is a pretty logical check in mooglecharm's eyes, just because of the way the items were in the seed. So like it makes a lot of sense.
I mean, you know, given the fact that the hammer is the most recent sphere that we have, right? Just in terms of logic, he is absolutely going to chase this.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's got some weird options too, because like if mooglecharm wants to do like, you know, like you could fake flipper into Ice Palace looking for that fire rod, but if you find it, it's like, well, I needed the flippers anyway. So it's kind of like a, you know, it's one of those checks. So it's like the odds of me ever having to go into Ice Palace in the seed are relatively low. The only thing of value that could be there is fire rod. So, and even if I find it, I still need to find the flippers. So
yeah,
you might see him like putting those off.
Yeah, and given his knowledge. All right, at 1 hour, 17 minutes, 33 seconds, Gem is officially in go mode, picking up the fire rod there from the flooded room of the Swamp Palace. Yep. Not even going to get anything else in his path. He has tempered, he has silvers, he has the mirror shield, he is ready to go.
I mean, I would rather have like half magic and red mail than mirror shield, but you know, to each their own. But yeah,
you know,
we talked about it. Yeah, we talked about it a little bit, but yeah, fire rod in Swamp Palace exactly is just, I mean, Gem is basically, I don't know how mooglecharm is going to catch up at this point. Like having done that flipper skip is like, it seems kind of reasonable. It's just it's kind of a bold skip to make, and when you make those bold plays, they do sometimes you know, backfire on you. Meanwhile, Gem getting a pretty nice one cycle.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think he just missed the 0 cycle. And unfortunately, Argus still had to do his little animation, and it just cost him a little time. But that was really nice clear from Gem there.
Yeah, well, Argus can move fast or slow, and if he moves fast too much, he'll get 2 against the wall, and it just gives you less time to do the hook shot dash pokes. So.
Oh
wait, mooglecharm is doing?
Yeah, are we seeing this from mooglecharm? He's actually going back to Meyer Basement here.
Wow. All right, I respect this play. Even with this though, he'll still be mooglecharm will still just be an entire dungeon behind his opponent, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think with this fire rod, Gem just has to head back to the back of Skull Woods, and then he's ready to head up the mountain.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, as you mentioned, like we saw it in Swamp. Like there ain't nothing else Gem needs like to pick up in terms of items. Like, I mean, obviously he needs keys for a GT, but like that's about it. Like there's no item that he can find in his inventory that will basically make him any faster.
I initially had thought that maybe if the fire rod was on left side Swamp, that could potentially be an out still from mooglecharm, because if you're one item from go mode, the chance of you doing left side Swamp first, right, or going back to him when there are other options available to you is can actually work in mooglecharm's favor. But unfortunately, it was just right basically on Gem's path. So.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that definitely would have been interesting, but it's rando. Like that Quake medallion could have turned out to be super interesting, but it wasn't. So
I guess Gem was a little fed up with one of those bars.
Yeah, that was we got all that trouble to point out his awesome Argus fight. Good stuff. All right. Meanwhile, mooglecharm about to pick up the missed flippers from about 8 or so minutes ago. There they are. So mooglecharm was probably like, ah.
Yeah, must not have with those slashes of happiness there. I'm sure mooglecharm was not feeling the greatest from finding those flippers. At least he went back and got them.
Gem getting a little bodied by Gyptos here. This is not the best Skullwoods for our friend Gem here, but he's making a go of it.
Oh, that was a nice Gyptos kill though on the spike.
Yeah, that counts. All right, let's see how this Mothula fight goes. Meanwhile, mooglecharm making the smart play here. I like it. Heading over to Swamp Palace. We'll pick up the fire rod. Meanwhile, Mothula
refuses to move. But I'm glad all those slashes counted, because I never know if you slash into Moth whether or not the hit will have actually registered. Yeah,
it's a bit hard to tell in the restream sometimes, but Gem did get a couple of like dash pokes and stuff in there. Did a pretty good job. So. All right, so it looks like we have, that is the 7th crystal for Gem, and that means it's time for the GT Big Key guessing game. So there are 22 chests Big Key can be in. Put in your guess, win internet points. I'm hoping for Tau Room because I am a sadistic person.
Why? Files.
Although actually, even with I can see, like, Tile Room is always just objectively the worst choice. Like, if you are in a race and you do Tile Room first, literally the only reason to do it is if I want to make like a terrible gamble. Like, I mean, it's always the bad choice. But sometimes it's so hard to tell because if you're that late in a seed, like it's hard to, you might feel behind, but you might not actually be behind because you can't see what your opponent is doing. So like throwing it all away on such a low percentage play, you know, because you feel behind, even though you might not be, like, you know, you could throw away a potential lead that you had or a close game by, you know, wasting almost a full minute in that tower room. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the tower room play. Even if you feel like you're behind, I still feel like the tower room is just a bad play. But some people like to gamble, so who am I to say no to them?
People like to gamble in this game? I had never realized that, Files. I'm
people
really glad that you have told me now.
People like to gamble just in general, Files? Wow, that's incredible. Someone tell the casino industry what's up.
That's right.
All right, get your guesses in pretty soon because we are going to be locking this, kids. I've said it before, but I think my favorite tower room guessing game method is to just vaguely talk about like a general location that has a lot of chests in it, like randomizer room or dark magician room, and then just continue to blather on, not actually committing to like an actual check. And then when it inevitably is in one of the places I'm talking about, I feel like I'm winning.
That's right. All right, so unfortunately just red rupees and 3 bombs in Hope Room. Without a small key, Gem has to go full left.
Yeah, you know, if the key is on the right side, half dark magician / Blaine route could have been the answer. All right, so yeah, if you guessed 1, 2, or 3, you were super wrong. But mooglecharm, eventually super right, does pick up that go mode fire rod.
Yeah, making that extra check there to tell us that there was a map in the other chest as well. But, you know, at 1 hour, 23 and 50 some seconds, mooglecharm is also in go mode. He's going to clean up Argus here, clean up Skull Woods.
Number 7.
Head straight up. Found it in Selfless Room.
So yeah, I mean, you know, the half dark magician route would have taken you right there. I'm not saying, I'm just saying, Clear Mouse.
You actually see that, you see that actually Gem ended up quick swapping over to the wooden arrows, so he reduces lag in that room to hit the switch.
Yeah, very nice.
Cool. And now he's right back to silvers.
Yep. Less lag in the room, but, you know, 1 less shot to kill a red mimic, so. Alright, mooglecharm setting up for the silver's kill of Argus.
Oh,
that
no.
is a difficult shot to make. The hitbox for Argus surprisingly tight on the horizontal, so yeah, just opting for the 2 slash.
That thing is like bigger than you, right? Like bigger than Link, and yet like the hitbox is so small.
Bigger than me. I'll have you know that I am also a octopus with puffs in real life.
I'm sorry. You're right. I've actually never seen you Files.
They call me Filesgus.
Files guess.
So yeah, Gem having a little trouble in the Stalfos room here. Does get out relatively nicely. Half magic, like fire rod, silvers, tempered. Like you're pretty well kitted out for this GT gauntlet climb. So it's not a question of you know, which fast method do I want to use to kill them? Like you have a plethora of options. So.
Yeah, and as far as I can recall, Gem also has a fairy in a bottle that he never used, so he also has a little bit more safety in addition to what we see here on the screen.
Oh yeah, because he bought the red potion.
He has a red potion?
Cam. Oh no, I think that's what he used for the potion camera unlock in pods. So yeah, he still has that fairy. You're right.
Mm-hmm. And he has the powder that he worked really hard for to pick up from Hera Basement.
Well, actually, with 4 hearts, he might actually, even though you know, the best time saves are the ones that prevent you from dying, and even a high-skilled runner such as Gem, like we don't talk about it a lot, but you know, rebroadcasted matches and like high-pressure league important games, you know, these guys were tied 9 points to 9, so you know, nerves can get the best of even a good runner. So if you have the means to take a quick safety that only takes a couple of seconds that completely refills your hearts, it's probably worth it.
Yeah, and of course with Quick Swap, it doesn't actually cost any menu time to go over to the powder. So right before Moldorm, I can really see him big powdering, or not, real powdering at the anti-fairies there.
actual powdering.
Yeah, that's right. Although, given how high his magic count is, maybe there's some big powder here in our future.
Yeah, he's already got to the powder, so yeah, as you mentioned. Yeah, the only time spent here is just the time spent picking it up, so. All right. No Moldorm 2 hover gem.
Is he thinking about
All
it?
the potential
I guess
Moldorm
thinking.
hovers have been denied to me.
Yeah.
That's a tough hover though, and the price of failure is pretty high because you have to climb all the way back up and get out of that bottom room. So, all joking aside, I don't blame him. But I'm here.
Yeah, especially Temper Sword, Moldorm goes down pretty quickly. Yeah, meanwhile, talk about bosses going down pretty quickly. Mooglecharm makes quick work of Mothula picking up his last crystal, so he is all ready to go up till GT.
Yeah, and with the advantage of the big key being where it is that regardless of the route that Mooglecharm chooses to go, Mooglecharm will end up finding that GT big key relatively quick, kind of like Gem did. So.
Yeah, that's right, because there was no smart key on the right side, so he can't actually go right side, even if he wanted to. Now, if he ends up choosing to go to Stalfos from first, as some other GT routes go, then he will pick up a little bit of time on Gem.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he could do some wacky stuff like grab the torch small key and then head back right, but that would be suboptimal, and I would be surprised if anyone did that. So. All right, so we got ourselves a pig fight here, and it's going to be a pretty straightforward one. We've got Tempered Sword, we got Silvers, we got Half Magic, we got Red Mail, we got a Fairy in a Bottle. Fairy in a Bottle, arguably more dangerous for Gem specifically. he might have had a Ganon fight with a Fairy in a Bottle that ended poorly. We won't talk about that though. We're learning all about Weetabix. Oh yeah, if you don't smash that button or time your hook shot right, you will have to do the Super Bunny Cave the intended way. A little bit of a time loss there, but not huge.
Yeah, I think with the inclusion of quick swap, runners are trying to change some of the muscle memory into quick swapping over to the mirror or the hook shot, and sometimes it just doesn't end up working out.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've seen runners like shoot arrows into blocks just because because the arrow's not too far away from hook shot, depending on what your menu's like. So, and of course you've got the mirror, which is a deadly bomb in the middle of your quick swap usage. So you want to accidentally mirror out of dungeons, but it definitely happens.
Yeah, mirroring out of Vitreous when you're trying to switch to the bow. Yep. Never happened before. Yeah. Meanwhile, Gem is on what, phase 4 already?
Yep. Yeah, should be getting that last arrow in there, and there it is. Gem finishing up Ganon. Lifting his sword up high, earning 3 points for team they vetoed our acronym. Twitch chat, RDB, and good sports, tossing out those GGs. That's what I like to see, guys. Get those GGs out there for Gem. Gem finishing up an official racetime.gg time of 1 hour, 30 minutes, and 2 seconds. So did not cut the 90-minute time. What a scrub.
GG's, Gem.
Meanwhile, Mooglecharm making way into the Dark Magician room here. Will pick up the GT big key. And honestly, considering that, like when you think about like the time differential here, honestly, like the time that Mooglecharm spent doing things that weren't flippers immediately after Meyer and then coming back and picking him up, I mean, that was very close to 7 minutes, like in general. So, I mean, this was a very close race. I mean, we saw throughout the whole beginning, like the first 40 or 45 minutes, the runners had nearly identical routes with just some minor variations. So, very cool to see, and a very good show that was put on for sure. So we'll get to see Mooglecharm's GT Ascent here.
And actually, I looked away for just a second. Did he end up doing Hope Room at all, or did he just go straight to Stalfos Room?
You threw me under the bus, Clearmouse.
I apologize. I'm sorry.
I actually don't know either. But the best way to get out from underneath a bus is on a Lake Holly brand escalator. That's right. That's right, folks. If you need to move an object from point A to point B, Lake Holly brand escalators. They move yo stuff. The tagline changes every time, Clearmouse. I really need to stick. We need consistent branding. Did not get the marketing.
I thought we were trying to get different sponsorships here.
Well, I mean, I might have given up all hope on the Lake Holly brand escalators, but you know what? I checked my bank deposit in the middle of commentary, and they re-bribed me. So you know what? I'm back on board. Escalators all the way.
Just like these conveyor belts here on these, for these
Yes.
BMOs.
Exactly. That's right. All the fun shenanigans that you come to expect here in the Gauntlet Against Tower, brought to you by the Kali brand escalators.
Yeah. Meanwhile, mooglecharm is actually having a really nice gauntlet.
Yeah, the Lambos went a little bit better than the first time, although the nice setup with that's about as fast of a 2 cycle as you could hope for, so relatively decent there. Silver is definitely the fastest way to kill him, but a little less reliable. The fire rod is usually pretty consistent, so.
Yeah, as you kind of saw from mooglecharm when he's trying to beat Lambo 1, and as you mentioned, if you kind of miss the timing on that first silver arrow, the rest of them are supposed to be really hard to recover from, and fire rod is a lot more reliable. Yeah, really nice here for some of the most satisfying rooms here in GT. Unfortunately, getting a little body here by these red guards.
Yeah, if only he had gone up the side with the escalator on
With the conveyor belts.
would have. No, it's not Lake Hylia brand conveyor belts.
Oh,
Come on, you're killing me. You're killing me.
You're right. We need the sponsorship money.
So mooglecharm gonna need to pick up the. Don't think we have enough for 4 torch shots here. Yeah, I think.
It looks like we have to get a little bit more. I think he was hoping that he would save the magic using the lamp earlier, but just as you see, like probably not enough.
It's one of those things where I guess you could have done it with lantern strats though, but that's the movement for that's a little tighter, and some runners aren't familiar with the strats for that. So. All right, so it turned out the pedestal was a full heart container, so not particularly exciting.
All right, inching closer to Ganon here with this Molder 2 fight.
That dash poke. Oh, wow, mooglecharm got robbed twice.
That's right.
That's generally a pretty consistent way to kill him. 1 tempered sword spin and then 1 tempered dash poke will do the trick. So. All right, so making our way up into, now if I remember correctly, I believe Gem's Aga 2 fight was a 2-2-0-2. So mooglecharm does have a chance to improve on Gem's Aga 2 fight here with a 3 cycle. So get out your protractors, it's time for Aga 2.
Oh no, those were some kind of unfortunate timings there, unfortunately.
Yeah, those like kind of right angles are always difficult. Like you don't always know what to do with them.
Yeah, that last blue ball was actually really unfortunate too, because I think he would have had a good lineup. Alright, 4 more shots to go.
There we go. If only Lake Hylia brand escalators could somehow move blue balls mid-air back to Aghanim. But they fly through the air, so not everything can be solved through moving platforms. All right, so with that, mooglecharm heading over to Ganon, and again, similarly equipped as Gem was, we'll find that this will be a relatively straightforward fight. I believe mooglecharm also has the fairy in the bottle too, if memory serves. I believe that was picked up as well, so risk of death quite low here.
Yeah, mooglecharm also took the time to make sure he picked up that second fairy also at the top of Ganon's tower.
Oh, yep, forgot about that. Alright, so we're moving on into phase 2 here. mooglecharm getting up there. 6 nice tempered sword spins will do the trick. Hook shots out, very nice. All right, so we've got phase 3 here. Number of warps that Ganon takes in these fights are definitely normalized between runners, for those that don't know. So that is one of those things, much like the blue balls that Aghanim 1 and 2 throw out, that quote-unquote randomization will be the same for both runners. So Ooh, is
now
mooglecharm gonna get the three arrow? Oh, just a little bit late on that last arrow.
Yeah.
Still, it was a very clean setup though.
Yeah, I think he almost got torch glitch too, but it didn't end up needing it. So he just needs to cross this Orbit through bridge,
Yeah,
go
definitely.
through this, and he will finish second place in this race.
Excellent. So Twitch chat being excellent, being good sports, already tossing those GGs out. So get those GGs out for mooglecharm. Mooglecharm finishing up with an official race time of 1:37.27. So definitely good work there. Yeah, I think the story of this seed was definitely how those flippers worked out and how the hookshot worked out for Gem. I think kind of leaving and then having to come back to those flippers was a vast majority of the time difference for mooglecharm there. So yeah, hopefully we'll be able to. I think we're trying to get some of the runners in here for a post-game interview, so stick with us as we make that happen. But yeah, I think definitely this was a really tight seed. You know, we talked about a little bit while they were in their Ganon fight, but that's the first 40 or so minutes. Now, the beginning of the seed was definitely a little linear in terms of where the seed wanted them to go. Like once they did kind of the broad checks, they were kind of in a little bit of a funnel, especially with that Aghanim early play, because that had to be routed in. But yeah, the first 40 or 45 minutes or so for these runners, it was very similar, and they were neck and neck. I mean, they were both executing very well at making those plays.
Yeah, and the fact that both runners ended up going to Lumberjack early, saw the Moon Pearl, that was really important knowledge for them. Right?
Oh yeah, I mean, there were so many gotchas that I think that both of the runners ended up like, not falling for. Seeing the Moon Pearl on Lumberjack was definitely one of those. Looks like we are joined in the booth by Gem. GG's Gem.
GG's Gem and
and also
mooglecharm.
mooglecharm.
GG's guys.
GG's Moogle.
So yeah, that was quite the seed. It felt like real tight and almost linear in the very beginning, and then kind of opened up a little bit late. What were you guys' thoughts on that seed?
Yeah, well, you kind of summed it up, right? Sort of super linear at the start until you finally found the gloves in EP and then the mids on Death Mountain. But even then, like, you couldn't really do anything different. At least I couldn't, because I cleared everything before I finally went to my area. So it was just sort of linear in the sense that I full cleared everything before progression every time.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, you guys did avoid some of the traps. Like you both scouted out the Moon Pearl Lumberjack relatively early. Although that's kind of a free check when you start off with boots. Like I think most runners will keep an eye on that. I'd say that the real big difference here is that mooglecharm ended up kind of ditching out of Mire for a little bit and then coming back later and actually ended up missing the flippers for a little bit.
Oh, that's rough.
So I mean, it's the cutscene chest in Mire is always a tough one. So
yeah.
Hey, GG.
Oh, hey, that's mooglecharm. So yeah, we were just saying that the story of that seed, you guys were super tight in the very beginning, and I think what ended up goozling you was the flippers in that darn cutscene chest in Mire.
That's what it was? I assumed it was the flute. As soon as I saw that flute in Thieves Town, I thought that was it for me. Yeah, because I don't know, playing against Gem, like, he's better than me, so I feel like I have to make some plays. And when I didn't have the hammer, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to skip Thieves Town for now, and I'll just come back after I make the loop through Pipe Cave. And finding the bow on Bombos was like, okay, well, I guess I'm dipping Pendant Pod now. And I didn't find anything, obviously. When I got the hook shot, I felt pretty good. Or not good, but like I felt better because that gave me access to the mountain.
You should have felt good because that was actually when you found that hook shot. We were like, oh my gosh, because Gem had kind of semi-isolated the hook shot and actually ended up not going up the catfish. So when you picked up that hook shot, it was a pretty hype moment because that was the first time we had seen it. So yeah, you had nailed it there. You were feeling good. I bet.
Yeah, I felt better. And then when nothing was on the mountain, it was like, okay, well, obviously that's not good. And then to find, I was hoping that flippers would be the next thing. But then when it was flute, I was like, oh, okay, this is not good, because I had basically only had the Mire area left, and then to find ether and the flippers ended up being in Mire anyway. It was like, oh yeah, this is not going well.
What I could see
But,
with,
I
the hammer
think-
being in there. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was gonna say that if I had gone into Thieves Town to get that flute, I'm pretty sure I would have full cleared Mire, taken that to Pyramid Ferry to get my hook shot, and I think I'd be feeling pretty good at that point.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, you guys were both like, it was really fun to watch. Like the first 40 minutes, you guys were like, I mean, there were some minor differences as to like when you did like the Agina area checks, but like you guys were real tight. Like for the first 40 minutes, like it was, I mean, you were screens away from each other. It was really cool.
That's good to know.
Yeah, it actually turns out that both of you didn't do Thieves Town like at all. So Jem also didn't have the flute. So if you thought that like maybe Jem had more advantage there, it actually didn't end up happening.
Yeah, I did port before I even went to Village of Outcasts for the first time. I did it together with EP.
Yeah, I guess I was actually a little surprised at that. Like, was there any reason why you decided to pod then versus later?
I don't know. I mean, I was right there with my portal, and there were still 4 items in there, so I figured I might as well do it. Basically it. I was in a pretty full clear mood today, I think.
Well, I mean, you went back and did. In fact, that was really interesting because mooglecharm did the cool thing where he kind of save scum his mushroom because he had found the bottle early over by Sahasrara and was like, oh, if you find Samaria, there could be a potential fake powder in play. And then Jem, you took the time to do the bottom of Hera because you said you were in a full clearing mood, and then when the powder was there, that was a pretty funny moment.
Never fake powder. Just get the real one, man.
Well, it could have worked out. I was also waiting. There was a tons of ridiculous stuff. Like there could have been like a fire rod in first chest turtle rock. Like I mean, there was a bunch of weird stuff in the seed. It was definitely a really interesting one to watch, and you guys put on a great show too. It was really fun to watch.
Thank you.
So yeah, this puts you guys up. You guys were actually tied in league points at 9 each. This puts you. This puts the they vetoed our acronym up a point, and I think you guys have another match scheduled. I think this weekend, maybe.
Yeah, I think they scheduled it for Sunday. I think.
Yeah, I believe Sunday morning, 10 o'clock Eastern. I think.
Nice. So that'll be a chance for double dippers to come swinging back, or for they vetoed our acronym to further their points. So it should be a good time. Any final thoughts from you guys on this seed? It was a pretty fun experience, that's for sure.
Yeah, it was cool because I didn't need to menu once. I like that.
That 0 menu time is really impressive.
I lost time intentionally on Ganon just so I wouldn't have to menu. But it's worth it. We'll do it again every time.
Actually, yeah, you must have conceived of that early too, because you were like in the Ganon's tower climb, you like quick swapped off of like silver arrows to like reduce lag time, and then swap back to him all without menuing. I'm like, okay, he's up to something.
Yeah, when I went up to GT, I realized, I haven't menued all seed. So, and there wasn't a key in Hope Room, so I couldn't have done it. But if there was, I would have skipped right side there, because usually.
Really?
Yeah, usually I menu it to Somaria in the mummy room in the bottom right. But this time I would have skipped it just so I wouldn't have to menu.
Nice. Well, the only other thing I have to say is I hope the old man enjoyed his trip over that pit, Jem, that you inexplicably hovered.
Yeah, man.
Really appreciate it, Jem.
He gets excited every time.
Yeah, Jem hovered the old man dark room cave in Death Mountain for whatever reason. I was hoping you'd fall so you would taste hubris.
Way to rub it in, Jem.
Well, actually, at that time it was very close.
Your viewers
GG's,
appreciate
guys.
it, Jem. Thanks.
So yeah, well done, guys. Now don't go too far because we have another randomizer race coming up real soon here. It looks like we've got at 4:10 here. We'll have our good friends Croy and Tracy M do some commentary for another league match here. So it should be a real good time. So don't go too far, guys. We'll be up for some more hot randomizer action up on this channel here.
Yeah, upcoming league match is actually against two also really great runners, Andy and his VN 1337. So it really should be an exciting match to watch. And of course, and of course for these two teams, Double Dippers and the Vetoed Acronym, sounds like the next match is going to be Sunday morning at 10 a.m. I don't think we have a time or schedule channel for that yet, but certainly keep your eyes peeled.
Yeah, excellent. So yeah, thanks again, guys, for a great match. It was a pleasure to commentate and watch. You guys both put on a really good show. So thanks again.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for the commentary, guys. And
that'll do it for us
Thank
here.
you.
So yeah, like I said, as the channel switches over, make sure you stick around for some more randomizer action.